Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and elect. I'm Ariel Zabak out of the GMS Dallas camp, and I'm entitled this lesson here, Resisting the Flesh. Um, we have to, as Hebrew Israelites, walk in the Spirit on a continual basis, due to the struggle we have in this temple. The flesh that we're in are like prison houses, and we're not going to be perfected until we enter into that second covenant. So when you come into this truth, it's very important that you resist the flesh. All right. So let's go ahead and open this up with, let's get that in Philippians chapter 3, verse 3. And it reads, "For we are the circumcision which worship the Most High in the Spirit and rejoice in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai and have no confidence in the flesh." And, the circumcision represents the law, and we can't keep the law perfect, So we have to, worship, Yahweh Shai, in the spirit, because if we try to do it, in the circumcision, which represents the law, we can't keep the law perfect, and that's why we have to have and rely and have rejoice and rely in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, because of grace. All right. What's that scripture? The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, roughly paraphrasing. No matter how hard we try, in the flesh, in the circumcision, keeping the law, we're going to fall short. And this is why Yahweh Shai had to die on the cross, that we have that hope, and faith in Yahweh Shai, to be delivered. Because this is the only way, is having faith. And we also, in Yahweh Shai, we also supposed to keep the law as well, rehearse the righteous acts, according to Judges 5:11, And it doesn't mean we don't stop keeping the law. We keep the law to the best of our ability. Also, we have to walk in the spirit too, because Yahweh Shai set an example for us. He told us how to move throughout the earth through this captivity, because we do have an enemy, at the end of the day, yourself in this flesh, and also, these other nations, starting with Esau, Edom, the so-called white men. All right. We're going to go ahead and move on. I got a precept for that. And also in Ephesians, let's get that, Ephesians 4. This is an account. This is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22. And it reads, "That ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupted according to the deceitful lust." Verse 23, "And be renewed in the spirit of your mind." Okay. Verse 24, "And that ye put on the new man, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness." So that old man that we had in our mind, we have to put off, and that would be the uncircumcision. And the circumcision, which is the law that we're trying to keep now, we just can't, make it into the kingdom just by being circumcised alone, but by the renewing of our mind, we have to, walk in the spirit. And the only way you can walk in the spirit is by continuing to sup with Yahweh Shai, which is the Holy Scriptures, via the Scriptures. from the Old Testament Apocrypha down to the New Testament, That's the only way your mind will be renewed is by supping with Yahweh Shai. The scriptures says faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of the Most High. So the only way you're going to have that faith unless you're hearing the word on a daily basis. So, we're supposed to be taught by our teachers. Also, you should read the scriptures, on a daily basis as well and sup with the Most High. All right. And, going back to verse 22 in Ephesians 4, it says, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. And those deception is the former way of life that we've been living, before we came into this truth. We all, grew up in different ideologies, philosophies and stuff that we were going by, whether it was breaking the laws on a daily basis, serving other gods, which you are if you're not serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, and, practicing them on a daily basis, So that old man we have to put off, if you had trouble, our dietary has to change, the things we eat, we have to start eating clean foods instead of unclean foods, those type of things. Putting off the old man, if you was being a nigga and, messing around with brothers' wives and women and stuff, man, you have to put that off. You can't do that no more. That's committing adultery, okay? So on and so forth with it. And I'm not just going down to 10 laws. There are other laws that we have to keep. And that's the reason why we keep them to the best of our ability. We want to rehearse those righteous acts. Also, our mind has to be renewed as well, by being obedient to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. There's order also. Okay? All right. Let's move on. Let's go ahead and get Romans, the 7th chapter, verse 18. This is Romans chapter 7, verse 18. And it reads, for I know that in me, that is, in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. And that's true, because our bodies are sinful. This is just a sinful nature. Again, we won't have we won't be perfect until we enter into that second covenant, which is in Jeremiah 31:31, when we get our new bodies. Lord willing, with those men and women, starting with the 144,000 and the great multitude, okay? So, our bodies, this temple that we're in, is one of our worst enemies, for the deceitful lust, lusting after the flesh, whether it's the things of this world, all things of this world, to get your mind off of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, delivering you in that day. Okay? Let's get Galatians chapter 5. And let's start at verse 4. And it reads, Hamashiach, which is the anointed, is Yahweh Shai, is become of no effect unto you. Whosoever of you are justified by the law, you are fallen from grace. And so if you try to justify yourself by the law, you are going to fall from grace, because you can't keep the law perfectly, And this is why Yahweh Shai had to come, because we wouldn't have made it if we tried to. We already failed from the first covenant and broke it already. So there's no way we can keep the law perfectly in captivity. We scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. That's a curse right there within itself. So it's impossible for us to keep the law perfectly, in captivity. And this is why Yahweh Shai is only here for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Because, we have fallen out of our righteous state, and he's bringing us back, starting with the chosen and the elect. All right. Verse 5, and it reads, for we through the Spirit wait for the hope of the righteous. Salakia, for we through the Spirit wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. And that's right. You know, and this is that what we enduring for, to the end is, and that's the only way we're gonna make it is by walking through the Spirit, and we can get that in John, so you can see what the Spirit is. We can get that in what's that? Yeah, John 6:63. This is John chapter 6, verse 63. It is the Spirit that quickeneth the flesh, profited nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So Yahweh Shai come through the whole volume of the book. Yeah, the law is good, but we have to walk in the Spirit. And this is the reason why he came, for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are Hebrew Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth amongst all nations, okay? This is who he's speaking about. All right. Let's go back to Galatians chapter 5. All right. This is Galatians 5:5 again. And it reads, for we through the Spirit wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. So, we are waiting for the promise, okay, that's given to us. So we have to continue to resist the flesh and walk in the Spirit. And the only way we can do that is by keeping our mind on these scriptures, on Yahweh Shai. We have prophecies that are taking place. And, how you going to resist the flesh if you're not watching, not listening. We have Jacob's trouble coming, the MOTB, World War III. So there are some times coming up and your faith is going to have to be built up. And there's no way you can be built up if you're walking in the flesh, trying to live by the law only, and this is the reason why we have that grace that's given to us. And we're able to walk in the Spirit. And we're going to get to that, all right? Let's get 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 16. And it reads, all scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. So when you say you live in, by the law, and you can do it and walk in circumcision alone, that's not having the right mindset. You're not renewing your mind. You're not putting off the old man if you're doing that, because again, we already broke the first covenant. So Yahweh Shai dying on the cross and raising again, likewise are we. We want to be called up into those chambers when he says, come up hither. And the only way you're going to do that is through Yahweh Shai. So Yahweh Shai is written throughout the volume of the book of these scriptures. So, we have to, abide by all the scriptures. We can't just, live by the Old Testament only. Okay? All right. Let's get go back to Galatians chapter 5. All right. Let's move on down to verse 16. And it reads, this I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. You see? Because the more you spend time with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the less time you're going to, be attracted to the things of this world, You're not going to be in the streets all day. You're not going to be in the malls spending money. You're going to be doing the work of the Lord, the things that please the Most High, warning the sheep. Out there on the highways and byways doing your videos, those things is that you would be doing walking after the Spirit. Verse 17, and it reads, for the flesh lusted against the Spirit, because they warn against each other, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. And this is why it's so important, to stay in the Spirit, to walk in the Spirit. It's hard to walk in the Spirit if you drunken, you're not sober, if you chasing a box all the time, being occupied by the things of the world. It's hard to be, to walk in the Spirit. It's hard to see these prophecies as they approaching. You're not watching. You're not on your post. All right. Verse 18, and it reads, but if you be led of the Spirit, you are not under the law. You're under grace, because you understand the mission. You understand the outcome. You understand that Yahweh Shai is coming to deliver the chosen and the elect. And let's get that. I don't want to butcher it. All right, this is 2 Peter, chapter 1, verse 10, and it reads, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, you should never fail. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is by walking in the Spirit, All right, let's get another account. This is John chapter 4 and verses 23 and 24. And it reads, but the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to him worship him. You see? And that's the only way we're going to be able to worship the Most High is in spirit and in truth. And we're going to get that. Verse 24. The Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. And we're going to get that those two words, because those two words are key. How do we worship the Most High and in spirit and in truth? And the Bible going to give you the answer to that. Let's get the precepts to that. This is Psalms chapter 119 and verse 142. This is Psalms chapter 119 and 142, and it reads, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. You see? Keeping the law is the truth. And we're going to get what the Spirit is. And this is why this is why you must worship the Most High in spirit and truth. And Yahweh Shai is so important, because when you walk after Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you understand what that grace time is for. We're going to get this last account right here, which is in John chapter 1 and verse 17. Because the law is important. Because the scripture says the law is truth. And we're going to read what the John 1 and verse 17 says, and it reads, for the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. See? So you have to worship him in spirit and truth. And that truth is the law, but you don't get the grace without walking in the spirit after Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, which is the volume of the book. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. Shalom.